money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
All right, Rolly Romero back in the ring, taking on Ismael Barroso. Rolly Romero a minus 1100 on the money line, and Barroso is a plus 620. And this is a pretty interesting fight because he wasn't supposed to be fighting Ismael. He was supposed to be fighting and challenging the WBA Alberto Puello, and that was just weeks out. And then he was suspended for failing drug tests, and I think it was the same for the same, I guess, ingredient you could say that they found in Conor Ben. Maybe it was eggs. I don't know, right? Was it the eggs? But nonetheless, he's fighting someone who's 40 years old now, and the title could be his.
How is he getting this title shot, Shantelle? Like, I know you just said how, but like how? Given that I don't understand the sport sometimes where not only does Rolly Romero get a title shot after being knocked out by Gervonta Davis in his last fight, but he gets it a year later, and he gets it in a new weight class, a weight class above, right?
Mm.
It's just I don't get it. And the WBA had him ranked 6th at one point. Now I believe he's 5th. Like I don't get how this comes together. And it's basically served up like, here's somebody deep into their career, who's not going to defend, who can crack. We'll get to that in a second. But Rolly Romero, I mean, this is a gift title shot. And if he doesn't win this, then then he's not going to be on the radar for a lot of people for very long. But he should win. He's a mega favorite, minus 1,000, 1,100 in some places, as seen below. And, he's last won in July of 2021 against Anthony Yiggett, who was stopped by Keyshawn Davis last month. Stopped after Rolly did it, because Rolly did it in round 7. Keyshawn did it in, I believe, round 9 in an entertaining fight. But Keyshawn also not as far along in his career as Rolly was at the time. This is a Rolly knockout waiting to happen. Should be.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that's what's going to happen. So KO between rounds 5 and 8 plus 170 is a bet I like. And between rounds 7 and 12 plus 170, I also like that as well. If you take both, there's a chance you could hit both if it happens in round 6 or 7. So, or actually, no, 7 or 8. And I think because Rolly got caught, like, granted, he was doing some nice things against Gervonta Davis early on. Like you said, that you had him ahead. One judge also had him ahead in that fight at the time he got knocked out in round 6. But Barroso plus 850 to win by knockout, I feel like that's worth a sprinkle, just because Rolly could get caught again. You saw the mistakes that he made in the Gervonta Davis fight before he got caught. Like, he fell in love with his own power. Then he kind of went for broke when he didn't have to, and then he got caught. That could happen again. I don't think it'll happen this weekend, but it's possible. Might be worth $1.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on sprinkles anymore after last week. When I was like, there's no way Canelo goes to a decision. I was definitely wrong there. Yeah, I mean,
wish I put
Rolly,
more money on that one.
Yeah, how much did you put on that one?
Only a few dollars.
Okay.
Should have put like 10. Oh, that would have been great. But anyway.
Yeah, that's risky for you for a sprinkle, though.
Yeah,
from what
that's
you've
not
told
a
me.
sprinkle for me. 10
Yeah,
is not a sprinkle.
that's a bet for you. But yeah, I think for Rolly, he's moving up in a weight class and going back to that Gervonta Tank Davis fight. I did have him up in that fight. I thought he fought really well, but then he, like you said, made some mistakes, and sometimes he drops his hands. And when he fought Jackson Mariñez, a lot of people thought Jackson Mariñez was robbed in that fight. And then that Anthony Yiggett fight, I think Yiggett came into that fight like 5 pounds heavier than he should have been. So, Rolly also fighting a guy, I guess you could say, not totally prepared for the fight. But like I mentioned, I thought he fought pretty well against Tank Davis. In this fight, he's younger, he's more athletic, he has power, he's going to be the stronger guy in the ring at least. And as for Barroso, I mean, he's 40 years old. Right. And that's got to mean something. He's also on a 4-fight win streak, though. 3 out of the 4 fights he's won by knockout. So he still definitely does have some power, but he hasn't fought since August. So, I mean, yeah, you think Rolly hasn't fought for a while either, but I think for a 40-year-old, it's probably better to keep a little bit busier than someone that's younger than, as Rolly. And I think that should probably also be taken into account when we talk about ring rust for a 40-year-old. And actually, Barroso, he spent most of his career at 135. So he's also, coming up to this weight class, 40 years old, when he spent most of his career at 135. And yeah, you take a look at his resume, and I think Anthony Corolla hurt him to the body. So he's weak to the body. I think a guy like Rolly Romero probably going to land some body shots as well, because, Barroso, a little bit weak there. And I do think Barroso is going to be able to throw some heavy shots. I think he's going to load up when he can. And I think he is going to be able to land on Rolly. But I think Rolly in this fight actually needs a really good performance, because there are questions about him. People are like, why is he getting this fight? Right? As soon as he comes up to 140, he just lost against Tank Davis. So I think this is actually a really, really important fight for Rolly, especially when there's been so much talk at the 140-pound division. But I do think in this fight, Rolly has more of the attributes because he is the younger guy. I think he has the better jab. I think he has a really nice right hand that he's going to use in this fight. And he has the power. It's just that he drops his hand at times. Do I think that Barroso is going to be able to get a knockout? No, I don't. But I've been wrong before in this betting. But I do think he's going to have some moments in this fight where we're going to be like, "Whoa, he landed on Rolly."
Yeah, I agree.
But I
agree with that.
But I think Rolly's going to be able to take it. I'm actually taking Rolly to win rounds 5 through 8 at plus 170. That also just goes with the fact that Barroso does have the experience as well. So I think he's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with him for a bit. But I like rounds 5 through 8 at plus 170. And Brian, you said there's some value as well if you're going to be taking 7 through 12, I believe. Was that plus 170 as well? Or
Yeah, both plus 170. I would say you could actually sprinkle on both and hope one of them hit, right? Like if you want to stick to one though, I'd probably lean to that 5-8 range.
Yeah.
But also his previous knockouts, he was stopped in round 7 by Anthony Corolla, as you mentioned. And then he was also stopped in round 9 in a previous fight. So I think this is set up for Rolly. I also think that it makes the 140-pound division a little bit more interesting, just because you have Subriel Matias with the IBF title. Who knows what his next move is going to be, because he may not be in Showtime.
I hope he signs with Matchroom, because like that, we talked about this. I really hope that happens.
To fight Regis Prograis. I think Top Rank would be the move for Subriel Matias, because he's Puerto Rican, and Bob Arum knows how to market Puerto Rican stars. Xander Zayas will be the co-feature on a big card next month, the week of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the day before. And I think Subriel Matias would make a lot of sense there. You could also put him against, Josh Taylor in the future, or Arnold Barbosa, or Jose Ramirez, or
Ryan Garcia. I mean, that's
the
fight that I want to see, is Rolly and Ryan. I think they're two guys, and we talked about this. If you haven't checked it out, we talked about the future at 140 pounds with Regis signing over to Matchroom Boxing. And we had a few, I guess we kind of had some matchmaking going on, some fights we would want to see. So one of those fights that I had mentioned was Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, and they're actually good friends. And so I think they can make that fight happen. I think it's very, very possible, but you never know. The one thing I love about Rolly, though, is he does know how to sell a fight.
Yeah, even though there's not a lot of buzz for this one, but I feel like this is a stepping stone, clearly a stepping stone for whatever comes next. So maybe his first title defense is an explosive one, and it's later in the year. But I think for now, he'll take care of business and move on. And if he doesn't, then he's in a dangerous place in his career.
Yeah, so let us know how you're going to be betting for Rolly Romero and Ismael Barroso. Let us know if you're going to go with the knockout, or if you're even going to sprinkle on Barroso getting the knockout, because there is a bunch of value there. But let us know if you're going to be rolling with Rolly Romero, and drop some comments below. Also follow us on @TheMandatory TKO. And if you like the video and the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or something like that, leave a couple of maybe a rate and review. Hit that 5-star button. That obviously helps the show grow. But let's move on.